In the winter of 2024, I acquired two haunted pieces of artwork, and I never expected such dark energy to be brought into my home, but that's exactly what happened. Hi, my name is Sharice Williams. I'm a psychic tarot reader, paranormal investigator, and author of books like The Witch's Guide to Ghost Hunting and The Witch's Guide to Haunted Objects. And today I would like to talk to you about two haunted objects that wreaked havoc on my life, or should I say, really, my son's life. As a paranormal investigator and somebody who is a little more witchy and spiritual, I'm always looking for ways to incorporate the spooky side and the other into my life. I'm also always looking for research and things like that. And so I thought it would be a great idea to utilize a technique that I actually write about in my book to help me find a haunted object at an antique store. This technique involves utilizing, you can use dowsing rods or a pendulum. I used a pendulum to help me locate a haunted item. Anyway, I acquired not one, but two framed antique haunted art prints. And I want to say this was like the very beginning of January 2024. And I brought them home and everything was all right. I introduced myself to them. I set some boundaries, set some ground rules. Everything seemed to be okay. I started to do some investigations with them, doing some, tarot card pulls, some spirit box sessions, and just kind of trying to get to know the artwork, or rather the spirit or spirits attached to them. And everything started out all right. I even was getting really great, intelligent responses. At one point, they even told me that they needed a nap, that they were tired, and it just kind of felt just like a decent energy. And then I get a call one day from my son's school saying that he had injured his foot, and so I had to go pick him up, and we took him to the doctor. Ended up that he broke his toe in gym class, and so we had to take care of that. And we kind of joked that, oh, what if it's the ghost attached to the painting that made him break his toe? And maybe we shouldn't have joked about that, because it was only like a week or two later that I'm downstairs and my son is upstairs and he is playing on the VR headset. And suddenly I hear him screaming for me. And I knew something was wrong. As a mom, the different yells and tones of your children. And I could tell immediately that something was really wrong. So I run up the stairs and meet him at the top of the stairs to see blood just pouring out of his hand and a trail of blood from the stairs to the bedroom. And what had happened was he was playing on the VR headset and swung his arm up and smacked it on the light and sliced his finger open. I mean, it was bleeding a lot, and we had to go to the emergency room, and the poor kid had to get stitches. And again, we kind of were like, oh, huh, maybe it is the paintings. Like, what's going on? This is kind of crazy, because it was just, he just broke his toe. And it was around this time that the energy with the paintings kind of started to shift. My interactions with them and the responses that I was getting with the cards and the spirit box started to become a little bit darker. And I really did kind of start to wonder, maybe there is something going on. But I tried to set some more boundaries and thought, okay, we're just, things happen to kids. It's fine. Well, it was maybe a week after that, after his stitches, or a couple weeks maybe, that he got the stomach flu. And it was the worst flu that this kid has ever had. I mean, horrible fever. He was crying because his stomach hurt. I mean, it was a mess. And I felt really, really bad. And at this point too, even my husband, he's open to the paranormal and spiritual things, but he's definitely a lot more of a skeptic than I am. But even at this point, he was like, okay, maybe it really is these paintings. Like, maybe we should get rid of them. Like, maybe we shouldn't have them here anymore. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll try to kind of start to find somebody who wants these paintings. I should have tried a little bit quicker, because it was another week or two later that my son was sledding and broke his arm. Horrible, horrible break in his arm. And actually, I wish that I had written this down, and maybe I did write it down somewhere. I want to say even it was after he got the flu. So it was the stitches, the broken toe, the flu, that I actually packaged up the two art prints, and I put them in a garbage bag and sealed it up and put protective sigils on the bag and put it in the shed. I think this is when I did that. I can't remember now if that was before or after he broke his arm. But either way, after he broke his arm, I was like, these need to go immediately. Um, because what the heck? So it was like a 6 week time period that my son broke his toe, had to get stitches, had the stomach flu, and broke his arm, all within a 6 week span. So I did put out kind of an alert on my social media of like, here's what's going on, here's these paintings, who wants them. I would prefer that they go to somebody who is an experienced investigator, like experienced with the paranormal and or experienced with like energy and protection and things like that. And the number one rule was that it absolutely couldn't go to anybody who has children. And I forgot to mention one of my last interactions with the paintings, it was literally talking about wanting a sacrifice. And that's when I was like, okay, hell no. Like that was my last communication with these art prints. And then thankfully, I found an investigator who collects haunted items, and I shipped them to her. She did say that she thought she heard a voice in the room that she keeps them. She actually keeps them in her basement. And she did say that when she was like the day after she had them there and she was going down the basement stairs, she kind of twisted her ankle. So I don't know if that was just, it happens, or if it had anything to do with the artwork. But that was pretty much all I ever heard about the artwork from her. So they seem to be content with where they are. Or kind of my just intuitive psychic feeling was whatever was attached to these art prints didn't like children, which was kind of ironic considering both art prints were of like children. But I don't know. The whatever is there is content where it's at. And wouldn't you know, after the art prints were gone, my son had a great rest of the year. Not even so much as a cold, I don't think that he got the rest of the year. I did, of course, once I sent the paintings away, did a major cleansing of my home, which I will get into in my next video. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell to get a notification, because I'm going to share some tips and tricks on how to interact with haunted paintings, maybe or haunted objects, when to maybe know when to get rid of them, and also kind of how to like cleanse and protect. Talk to you later. Bye.